Okay, welcome. So this is the journey to black belt, and we're going to talk about what it means to be a black belt, the black belt grading, and Maria's going to talk all about the training that she had to do in order to prepare herself for the black belt. Please stop me if I miss anything out. All right?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. So, let's be honest. If someone says to you, "I'm a black belt," it's like, oh, because it's a symbol, isn't it? It's a symbol of. But for me, it's a symbol of time taken and depending and a certain level of experience and martial arts skill. It is one of the things that we look at as being the ultimate in the journey for martial arts, right? And because of that, it needs to be hard. It needs to be completely different from all the gradings that you've ever done. I remember to this day, and I'll never forget it, my black belt grading, all right? It was me, and I was graded under my trainer, Graham Brockway, and the head of the association, Richard Hopkins, and his thing is this: in every black belt grading, he fails one person, right? And he goes until someone stops. And when they quit, they're done. Right, that's it. And that's every single grading that he's done. He fails someone because there's always someone who's going to quit, right? And ours was the only one that he never did that. No one quit. There was no way that any of us, because we all wanted the black belt. I had to get the money to fight, to get the money to pay for the black belt grading. The week before, I had to win a martial arts tournament. All right, there was £150 prize money, which was a lot back in that time. It wasn't. That's something it was back in the war, but it was back in that time. It was a bit, all right. It was not bad, and I had to win the whole tournament in order to then do my black belt grading the very next day, which is £120, and that's like the black belt grading is still the same cost, £120. Our gradings from when I graded, £30. Our gradings now are still £30. The black belt grading is still £120, all right, and regardless of cost to me and things like that. And I will get you all your when you pass, I will get you your Red Dragons black belt. So my grading, I think, was about 7 hours, and it was hell on earth, and I'll never ever forget it. I said to Maria, I can't remember. My second Dan was even harder. And I think I've suppressed the memory. I think it's trauma, and I think it's gone. I literally can't remember a moment from it. When you know what you have to do in terms of... In your gradings, I've always said to you, you can give me more. Right? And every single one of you, regardless of how tired you are, can always give me more. You need to, in your black belt grading and the training, which we'll talk about in a second, leading up to it, be prepared to give more and more and more of yourself. And I don't mean I just mean in terms of pushing through and gritting your teeth and going through, because the grading itself is going to be ridiculously hard, as it should be. Morning. It should be really tough. It should be really difficult, okay, because it is, I think you'd agree, like the third brown belt is 9 till 6, and that's really hard. That is really hard. Who else has done third brown here? Yeah, so you know it's ridiculously hard, right? And then you don't have to, it's not double everything you did on that day, it's double and more the next day in a it's 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and it's just, that was even worse, wasn't it?
Yes.
Good. So, you need to be prepared to be able to push your body beyond the point of, I can't do any more, all right? And the I can't do any more doesn't enter into your vocabulary. When you're training, all right? I remember training for my black belt. I remember training for fights. I remember looking at I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to run, right? I would then work with my trainer, Graham, right? He works how he trains. There was one thing we used to do, we used to empty big vats, the water filters, right? It would take the water board a week to do one. okay, a week. We would do one in a day. Because he would literally go and would be like, more, Dad, and just constant, okay? We were sweating buckets by the end. So I would run, I would work, and then I would teach the kids, and then I would train. All right, that was how I lived my life back then when I was competing. I was a professional kickboxer, all right, and that was rinse and repeat pretty much every day. I had 2 days off running, 2 days off training a week, okay? I remember looking at my trainers and thinking, I can't do this. And having this conversation, this argument in my head. Big part of me going, but you've got to because. And then part of me going, but you're really tired, right? Ignore that bit. We all have it. It's an evolutionary thing. I think it's all protection, and it's all like you need to just, ignore it. It is all about you have to. You just have to. It doesn't matter how you feel, all right? That's absolutely unimportant. In the grading on itself, if you enter into the conversation of, oh, this is tough, you are going to have a very, very, very bad experience, right? Not last year, the year before, Fergus did his purple belt, right? And he was struggling in his exercises with the yellow belt exercises, the second set. He had orange, green, blue, and purple to do, so he had another 4 to do, right? I whispered a few things in his ear. I convinced him that he had more to give, and he did. Every single exercise, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Mm. Literally, it was just like I flicked a switch. He was gone, he was like that, about to trip over his bottom lip, okay, feeling really sorry for himself. I whispered in his ear, flicked a switch, boom, he was Duracell Bunny for the rest of the session, okay? It's convincing yourself. The grading in itself is hard, so I'm just out now, my brain is just, I've got loads of ideas and things, so I might have to come back to some stuff because I'll remember other stuff to say. But the grading itself, right, you know what you have to do on the first day. You've got to do the Tiny Titans grading, which is white, yellow and orange. All right, 3 sets of exercises, 5 sets of shadow boxing, 5 sets holding the pads, 5 sets hitting the pads, horse stance up to 3 punches, then the white, yellow and orange techniques, okay? Juniors level 1 is white, yellow, orange and green. So you've got to do up to 4 sets of exercises, 4 in the horse stance, etc, etc, etc. Then you've got to do 10 for your black belt. 10 sets of exercises, okay? And then 10 up to 10 punches in the horse stance and everything else, shadow boxing, and then you finish with sparring. Now, you spar with me the next day, 5 rounds, all right? I want to maintain, the next day, I want to maintain a little bit of kind of secrecy to it because it's really hard. And I've got things that we do. Tuesday, remember Tuesday with the pads? Okay, 30 seconds. All right, that was hard, wasn't it? 5 twos. Okay, yeah. All right, we spar. When I did my black belt, I sparred 1-on-1, I sparred 2-on-1, and then I sparred everybody else doing black belt against me. And we did that for everybody. All right, so there is that element to it as well. So you're going to be competing against multiple attackers, right? You've got to repeat all of the exercises that you did from the night before. Hang on 1 second. Go around the others. Go around Right, what was I saying?
The grading on the Sunday.
So the grading on the Sunday, yeah, I want to maintain a little area of mystique, okay? But you are going to be expected to repeat all of the exercises. You won't be doing up to 10 punches in the horse stance, okay? You won't be doing that. It will be more, all right? It'll be like a significant amount more. When I did my grading, I was 45 minutes in the horse stance, all right? And if any, like I said, Richard Hopkins always fails somebody, and his criteria was if you raise your head, all right, if you stand up, you're done, you sit down, all right? And you've got to you've got two choices. You can either put your mind away from, forget you've got legs, forget you've got anything, all right, and just go into that zone and start punching and just become focused on your breathing or anything, or watch the film Ghostbusters in your head or something like that, all right? Or you can just make friends with the pain. And I think the distinction with the black belt is you have to make friends with the pain. You have to make friends with the of it all. Because the training is we had a lot of conversations, all right? Because it's hard, and it's hard over months, right? It's preparation. Like all of you are not going to rock up to the weekend of your black belt grading without being fully prepared. If you do, you are going to have an absolutely horrible time, and you will fail. Like categorically, 100%, you will fail. Okay, if you put the effort in, the training, the hard work in the gym, like every session is you leave yourself, like you can't do any more. Everything you are asked of, you just got to grit your teeth and go for it, okay? And don't let anything kind of, don't conserve energy, okay? Don't hold back. It is just, I'm going to be spent. By the end of the session, I'm done, right? And then do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day, okay? Because like I said, I remember like my black belt coincided with me fighting and competing at the highest level. I was a world champion, so I was literally, my fights started with 3 mile runs, then 5 miles, then 7, then 10. All right, and it would be like I would do 2 weeks 3, 2 weeks 5, 2 weeks 7, 2 weeks 10, and then that final week is just taper down really, really quickly. So it goes 7, 3 sprints, a couple of sprints, and done. And you train your body to want to train. Like you get used to training at a level of like that is ridiculous, right? And then when I take it away, because I will talk to all of you about your training, and I will literally, the last week, take it all away in a very quick kind of like, this is how you're going to do it, and then done, all right? Your body then is like, I just need, you want to train, right? Because you're literally used to that, am I right?
Yeah.
You were literally like, just for days, you just one run, all right? But if you can't, you've got to build. You've got to get all that energy that you're kind of you would normally spend, just conserve it there, and then boom, on the day it is on the 2 days. It's 2 days, okay, and just boom. All right. Do you want to talk to them about? I'll come back, but they've heard a lot from me. So do you want to tell them a bit about your training and things, please?
So with my training, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna do something else if that's all right.
Yeah, you're just crazy.
Yeah, no, I like to stand up. So me being in this uniform is a complete accident, isn't it?
Yes.
And the reason why, so I never intended to join Mud Dragons, and it's only because I think I've known Lloyd for maybe 2 years. And I'd been running something called Little Elves Christmas Fair. And I said to Lloyd, can you give us something for the raffle? He said, yeah, I'll give you 3 months free membership to the Dragons. Ironically, we won. And when I say we, I put Simon's name on all of the tickets. So Simon won, and Simon went, it's more your thing than my thing. And I went, oh, there's 3 months. And from day one, that was it, I was sold. I was like, this is my thing, and I am going to get my black belt, and oh my god, I'm going to get my black belt. And I remember walking in on that first day and looking at people and going, oh my word, there's like yellow belts, and orange belts, and green belts, and there's me, no belt. And now look. So your journey is unique. How you started, you'll all have started in a different way. How you finish, though, is with your black belt around your waist. And then the other story I want to tell you is my first brown belt. I thought I was ready for my first brown belt. Turned up, done all these belts already, I know what I need to do. It's going to be okay. I got to my exercises. And not dissimilar to Fergus, I think I might have been about 5 sets in, and my brain, Vera, so Lloyd was talking about the voice in your head. I lovingly have called mine Vera, because the thoughts in your head are not you, they're something else, and that voice is doing its job, which is keeping you safe. Neither good nor bad, just keeping you safe. And so the voice will try and stop you from failing, making a mistake, making a fool of yourself, doing something wrong. So to separate me from that voice, I called her Vera. And she was saying to me, this is really difficult. You have to do star jumps now, which is take this massive body and lift it up. And I was like, I'm tired, I can't do this. And I think, and you could see, because by this point, I think I was the only one doing exercises. So I'm doing exercises, I'm having this battle in my head, and I'm like, nope, this is not how it's going to play out. And that's when, so I'm being distracted by the voice, and I'm thinking, I need to get the voice out of my head, or at least under control. And so as Sensei was saying, 1, 2, I started repeating what you were saying.
Yeah.
In a way of bringing my focus back to that moment, so that Vera could make herself a cup of tea and go and sit in the corner so that I could get on with doing my exercises. So brown belt, first brown belt was literally horrible. So when I came to do my second brown belt, oh my word, Vera started talking to me before I even got to the venue. And we were outside, we being me and my family, having lunch, and I physically could not eat my lunch. And my daughter said to me, why are you not eating your lunch? You need to have lunch. And I'm like, I know I want lunch, but it's not going down. I'm chewing and chewing, and literally, I've got no food in my mouth because I've chewed it so much. And I had to talk myself into getting to the venue. Maria, just put your uniform on. Maria, just get in the car. Maria, just drive to the venue. Maria, just walk into the hall. I literally was having this argument again with myself. And because I was taking it one step at a time, like Sensei says, it's just the next exercise. It's just the next exercise. I managed to get myself to the venue. So then, when I did my third brown belt and I got my black belt, the biggest thing for me is the voice in my head. That's what's going to stop me. Physically, and Sensei will say this again, physically you are capable of more than you realise. The thing that will give up first is your brain, before your body gives up. So for my third brown belt and my black belt, I needed to do work on what was going on up here. Because otherwise, I would have been like one of those people that were trying to get their black belt with Sensei's era. The youngsters. Sorry. I would have given up, because I would have been the one going, oh God, I can't do this, I can't do this. And the biggest obstacle in that grading for me, and I think, David, it might be for you, and it might be for some of you, are those blooming exercises. Doing the shadow boxing, that's all right. It's like 5 rounds, 2 minutes. That's okay. Pad work, 5 rounds, 2 minutes. That's okay. Oh my goodness. You're going to have to do 1,000 exercises. Mm-hmm. No, 500 exercises. Is it 500 exercises?
No. Over 1,000 exercises over the weekend.
Over the weekend, yeah, because you've got to do it twice. That's a lot of exercises. So, if you can get this in here to be on your side, you're halfway there. So that's basically like how I got to get my black belt. And obviously Sensei talked about training. So there was me, Sensei, and Sensei Kelly. We were in Boston Tea Party talking about, okay then, what's the expectation for black belt? What's that all about? What's it gonna sort of look like? And we went through, it might be a bit of this, it might be a bit of that, it might include this. And all right then. And so when am I going to do this? And we're having this conversation in March of last year. And Sensei said, June. And I went, beep. And I was like, right, training needs to be focused. So, together a little training program. And you've all got access to this because it's on the Red Dragons Accountability. I won't show you it, you can come and see it later because it's so small you can't read it. So I put together a 4-month plan. I knew that physically I needed to be fit so that I could be able to be on my feet for 2 days. So running was involved. You don't have to run as much as I ran, but you need to know
I would say you would definitely need to run as much as you ran. 100%, all right, if not more.
So three running sessions a week. In the first month, 3 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles. Leading up to the 4th month, 3 miles, 5 miles, 7 miles. I've got to admit, in the last month, I probably didn't do as many 3, 5, 7s as there was available to me, and I'll tell you why in a minute, because I did have a number of low moments.
Yeah.
Exercises. We'll go back to exercises, because just close your eyes. Who hates exercises? Right, we all hate exercises, but we tell ourselves that it's actually okay, we can do it. Because if you tell yourself you hate it, it feels harder than, well, it's hard anyway, but it feels even harder. So to build up that resistance to having to do so many exercises, I was doing exercises every day, every week. So building up to 5 sets of exercises every day. Because you've only got to do another 5 when you do your grading. So if you're already used to doing 5, another 5 makes sense. Training, making sure you go to your training sessions, 2 training sessions a week at least.
At least. You're not going to be doing a black belt if you're just coming to 1 session a week. All right, everything has to ramp up. Everything has to ramp up. You have to ramp up. You are going to gain that resilience through doing the stuff that you need to do, and it's keeping those promises to yourself. So today I'm going to go for that run. I genuinely have had conversations with myself and looking at my shoes and just going, and when you hate it, when you really genuinely can't think of anything else you just no chance. I don't want to go, I don't want to run, I've got 7 miles, I've got 10 miles. All right, and you get those shoes on and you get out the door and you keep that promise to yourself. It might not be the best run. I don't care about that. Right? It's not about having the best runs. I genuinely couldn't care about the time. Right? Not in any way, shape or form a factor in my calculations. It's about doing it. It's about keeping a promise to yourself. All right, and then building up that resilience, building up that confidence through doing the really hard stuff, and it gets really, really hard. Your body goes through all sorts, but it's your mind. It's like Miss said, it's like that. I don't want to do it because Vera's talking. When I was a teacher, we had I taught this young lady, and she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant at so many things, like a genuine genius. And every time she wanted to do something, she'd be like, "I can't because." And I called her voice, I called it the doubt monkey. All right? I said, "Are you listening to the doubt monkey again?" Okay, when she left, she made a t-shirt for me that said, "I conquered the doubt monkey." Right? Because she absolutely smashed her GCSEs and her A-levels, and she got control of that voice. Okay, we all have it because it's like that part of you, it's that, oh no, you've got to keep safe. I see your brain and your mind as 2 separate things. Your brain is the bit that's going to go like, oh, just no, because, and then you focus on this, and you've got a bad ankle and all, and you spotlight little things. Oh no, I'm wrong here, and I'm tired, and your mind is the other bit that goes, come on, shut up, get on with it. Your brain, your mind has to be crazy. Your mind has to have no quit in it whatsoever. It's that little bit in you that just goes, shut up, get on with it, get out the door and go. Right? Or give me one more burpee, one more exercise, one more round. Grit your teeth, stop the negative voices and just grit your teeth and go for it. Okay? Because every week, when you did your black belt, all right, you could have done it all again.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like, here's the thing, right, if you had to.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
If you had to, you would have.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and that's it, like, and all of you, right, none of you have been at the point where you are absolutely exhausted, okay? I used to fight kickboxing 10 2-minute rounds, right? And that is somewhat like, I remember I lost this fight. I fought a guy called Chris, what I think his name was, and he was a giant. He was really tall, and he was the same weight as me, but he had longer arms than me and everything. And he just kept, like the first round, he just kept me at bay, all right, with his long legs, and I was like, right, I need to go back to the drawing board here and do something I've never done before. So the second round, right, I just kept him in the corner, and I literally head down on his chest, and I battered him. And I did that for 9 rounds. 9 2-minute rounds, and I didn't let him breathe. I stepped back occasionally and gave kicks. I genuinely have no idea how I lost the fight, but I did. But I literally, for 9 2-minute rounds, absolutely battered him. Like I had to do something I'd never done before. And after round 1, I was shattered. Okay, round 2 I was done, like I had nothing left. Then I had another 8 rounds. Okay, if I listened to oh, you're tired, yeah, you unravel. Okay, it's like a kitten playing with knitting, everything unravels. All right, metaphor. But you've got to control that kitten, control your brain, and there is. Every single one of you has so much more to give, and you have to just, I know it, right? I know 100%, I categorically know it, because I've seen you in the gym, right? You just have to believe it, okay? And when it's that black belt, when you're absolutely, like, you remember those burpees? Yeah? Just one more, 10 times, and it works, okay? You could have gone. And here's the thing, you could have given me everything again, all right? It wouldn't have been fun, but you could have done it, okay? Right? Your third round, you could have done it all again, okay? Again, it wouldn't have been fun, but you definitely 100% could have done it. And you, yeah? Okay? It's not, don't impose those limitations on yourself. You have to believe that you're a black belt. Okay, you've just got to go through it and get it. Like I had to win a tournament, a whole martial arts tournament. If I hadn't won that tournament, I wouldn't have had the money to get the black belt. Right? So I fought 2 or 3 fights. I can't remember. I may have had concussion. I had 3 fights, I think it was, on the day, and then I fought. Oh yeah. What's his name?
Yeah. Thingy's
Alex Reid.
Yeah.
I fought Alex Reid on the final. All right, to knocked him out the second round, but he was very arrogant back then. He isn't now. He's nice. But so I had to beat Alex Reid, all right, to get money to get my black belt. A week later, no, it was less than a week. It was 6 days because my black belt was on Saturday. Right, that was on the Sunday. 6 days later, okay, I had to boom. I was running the next day because I had my black belt. My trainer said, like, I don't care how tired you are, get on the road. So I ran and then tapered down and boom, black belt. And my black belt was hell. Okay? So, I got distracted.
Weights. I started doing weights. Kelly was my buddy. Thank you, Kelly. Technique. Obviously, you need to know the whole syllabus and some. So, the whole syllabus and power and flow punches and kicks. Punches are easy compared to the kicks in comparison. They're not easy in comparison. And horse stance. being in horse stance for many, many minutes, because you will be in horse stance for many, many minutes on the Sunday. But the one thing that I did consciously each and every day, because I knew that Vera was going to be my blocker, my obstacle, and this might be a bit woo for some of you, but I did a visualisation every day. I visualised training, and training being, this is going to sound weird, joyful, actually enjoying training.
It is.
I then visualised, sometimes it is, I then visualised my grading. So doing the 3 sessions on the Saturday and sort of making up what I thought the Sunday was going to look like. And then the like icing on the cake, the cherry on the top, was being in the hall and getting awarded my black belt. So that might sound a bit woo and a bit weird and a bit strange, but if you can visualize it happening, you're putting yourself in that position where you're like, yeah, I believe it is going to happen.
Can I add to that?
You can.
You know, like, your mind is your motor. I think I've said that more than once in classes and things like that. You are what you think. You genuinely are. So if you think you're a black belt and you work towards that like a black belt, okay, then you will become a black belt, right? That's it. It's simple. You just have to believe it. You have to, if it does sound woo, then fine, all right? But like, if you let negativity take hold in any shape or form, then it takes root and it grows. And it's a really virulent little weed, negativity, and it will tangle up all that good intentions and just, yeah, no, you're right, yeah, I shouldn't do that, and boom. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of, just no, shut up. When you hear yourself whining and just shut up, get them on, go. Get your shoes on and go. Get your kit on and go. Pick up your bag and go. Drink your water and go. Right? It's really simple. It is so simple, but it's ridiculously hard because we have to unpick what it's habitually that we've done. We've been told a lot, oh, well, you can't. You can. I'm here to tell you right now, all of you, 100% can be a black belt. No problem at all. Okay? And by no problem at all, I mean through grit, determination, an insane amount of work, and hell of over 2 days. All right? But I've condensed that into no problem at all. Okay? I just thought it was simpler to say it that way. Okay? So you please be aware, like, this whole, you could go on to Google and type in healthy foods, and there's a whole, like, it's almost limitless research on what you eat and how you can make yourself healthy that way. All right, you could be like the fittest, like you have the best diet, but if your mind is something that just takes, you're done. I remember I fought a guy, and Richard Hopkins, if you ever meet him, will probably tell you this, right? I fought a guy, he looked like if a human could look like if a Ferrari could look like a human, it would be that, right? He was genuinely he was super fit, super strong, splits and everything like that, okay? And I had to fight him for, I think it was a British title. So it was 7 rounds. Grit, it was hard. But I knew that I could beat him, right? As soon as I hit him, he knew that I could beat him, right? There was no, I changed his mind, and I let him believe those negative thoughts that were clearly going around his head. He did not, I still to this day remember hitting him. He's quite an arrogant person, but I absolutely demolished him. All right, absolutely demolished him, and I beat him in the end quite easily because he just gave up. He just quit. He had all the outside, but the inside here, where it really counts, where your motor really is, right? It's not this, it's this, right? That's your motor. Now you look at Tyson Fury, okay? He's not like physically, like, you wouldn't say he's a Ferrari, he's more a Ford Cortina, okay? To, you know, outward appearance, but he'll beat pretty much most people. You know, because he's a cracking, he's got the right philosophy in his head. So your mind genuinely, and when it becomes the black belt, your mind is your motor. It's everything. It is everything. Don't let any negativity take root. And so start practicing that now. Start doing that now. Take any negativity and boom, what am I talking about? Is that helping me? No. If it doesn't serve you, if those thoughts don't serve you, then consign them to the bin. So your mind is your motor. Maria.
So there's just two more things that I would like to say to you. The first one is I mentioned a bit earlier that I did have some dark moments. And I'm going to say, actually, I started training in March, and it was probably towards the end of April, where I was just like, I hate training. I like the thought of it. I mean, I know I have to do it, and I get up and I just do it, but I'm done with this. This is like, why am I doing this? And we had several conversations, and there were a couple of times we went, right, stop training for a few days. I don't want to see you do anything, just don't do anything. So no running, no horse stance, don't do anything. So you will, if you are, like Sensei says, if you're putting in the training, just accept that there will be moments where you actually hate it, and that's just part of the journey. I lied, there was actually 3 things I want to say. The other thing I want to say was, I have highlights during the training, and there were a couple of occasions when I actually dropped the children off at school, went for my run, I then went to St Andrew's Park, and St Andrew's Park is not quiet, and I was doing like 3 rounds of shadow boxing, I was doing my exercises, and there are people going, what is this woman doing? But I didn't care, because it was I don't think there were any days where it was raining, but the sun was shining, and I was training, and it was nice. And the third thing I want to say to you is, for my black belt, I had a little mantra, and I'd say 3 things to myself to make sure that I focused and Vera didn't take over. And those 3 things were pace, focus, and David Goggins. You obviously know what pace is, because it's you're in your training for a long time on Saturday. Sunday it might be shorter, but it's intense. So you need to pace yourself. If you go all out from the beginning, you will use up everything that's in the tank. It's like watching the children do sports day, and they've got to do long distance, and they don't realise that long distance means you've got to run for a long time, and they go off like a bullet, and then by the end of it you see them going, why can I not pick my feet up? So you've got to pace yourself. Focus, obviously, this is where I am, I'm here, everything else doesn't matter. And David Goggins is an amazing man. He's an American ex-Marine.
Yeah, he's done a few things.
And he's just crazy as far as what he's made his body do. I mean, he's run marathons and ultra marathons literally with broken legs, and he's bound them up. So I highly recommend, because Sensei recommended to me, either read or listen to his book called Can't Hurt Me, because if you think you are broken, you are not broken when you compare yourself to what he's gone through. So,
not appropriate for kids.
Yeah. Oh yes.
100% not appropriate.
18 plus. Pace, focus, David Goggins. Is there anything else you want to say, or should we open up to questions?
No, you know the ideas. Okay, it's really simple. He says it again, really simple. But in that sentence, underneath is just put in the effort. Put in the work, grit your teeth and go for it. You know that you're going to have to do stuff that you when you started, all of you, when you start, it's impossible. What I ask of you for your black belt is impossible for you to do when you start. All right? So all I'm asking you to do when you do your black belt is the impossible. all right? For a normal person walking off the street, okay? It's not for you. It is absolutely 100% possible. It is one punch at a time, one kick at a time. Do the next exercise. Be absolutely obsessed with that next exercise. Constantly be in control of what's going on in here. Right? Every one of you. When there's something difficult in work, in school, great. Great. Okay, good. Next, more, please. All right, and as soon as you start to embrace that, great. Okay, oh, okay, blimey, that's tough, isn't it? Yeah, great, give me more. As soon as you start to embrace that, like, your capacity to do more, it's exponential. Like, you just go like that. And the black belt is the techniques that we're I haven't touched on the techniques. Did I touch on the techniques?
No.
I mentioned techniques. So we've got to do some techniques in the black belt grading that we've never done in class. Okay? There's stuff, and I'm not talking, it's everyone who does the black belt sworn to secrecy. All right? If you divulge what we have to do, then I will do those techniques on you. I'm joking, I won't. Of course I won't. But so there is an element in that, right? Because the techniques are not straightforward. They're not simple in any way, shape, or form, and they ask of you to really, really put your trust in the technique and put your trust in you and all the stuff that you've done, because it's really, really hard. All right, and you have to overcome a lot of things, and gravity or mavity, depending on your point of view. Right, questions? Anyone got questions? Yes.
What did you do after the black belt?
That's a great question.
Because obviously you're leading up all that time, years to that point, and then how does it feel in the aftermath?
So it's hilarious because obviously when I went, so you have to go to training, you do your black belt grading on the Sunday, and then you have to go to training on the Sunday. And I sort of thought, oh, I feel a bit tired, but I'm all right. Went and did the training. Oh my word! The next morning, I woke up in bed and thought, I feel a bit sore. I was about to say I literally got out of bed. I didn't literally get out of bed. I was thinking, right, okay then, I need to navigate this. I need to get my body out of this bed. And you can feel it in your body for a good few days. And the one thing that I did wrong that I should have thought more about, so I planned everything obviously up until the day. And like Lloyd said, you need to rest afterwards. I rested a bit too long because I thought, a bit sore. I should have then sort of got back doing my normal exercises that I would have done pre-training for black belt, because then I felt I did more harm than good not getting back on it. So now with hindsight, I would have had a plan to say, all right then, have a bit of a break, but don't just stop because your body goes, and then it's harder to get started. So I was a bit sore, really.
The very next lesson, the first thing that Maria said to me, this is genuinely the first thing Maria said to me, she said, so when can I do my second day? Right? And I said to her, and I think this is true, and when you train for your black belt, that informs how you train for everything else. All right? So like the intensity that you train. All right? And I said you'd miss it. And I think, she said she hasn't, but I still think she does. So I think all of you will miss that level of intensity, and you'll miss that fitness and that strength that you got through that, and you'll want it back. All right? So be prepared for that. Be prepared to know that you will train in a different way, because you have to train in a different way to prepare for your black belt, and then that will inform everything you do after in terms of your training, because you know that everything you do like I just said to her earlier on, so you know that your black belt second dan is going to be double what you do for your black belt and some. And she just went, okay. Because I've got plans next year for a second dan. It's just horrible.
4 days.
Huh? No, I'm going to condense it. I'm going to condense that 7 days into something really simple. I like that. That's such a sentence. It's something really simple. let's unpick that like a cat with knitting. Right.
Any
more
other
questions?
It's stunning. It's like,
Food? Have you, well, you don't have yellow, but do you actually, prepare yourself somehow?
So I mean, we eat pretty healthily anyway. The thing that you need to be aware of is you need the energy ready for the weekend. So I was more conscious of eating carbohydrates like on the lead up, so that I'm storing that energy that then can get released for those 2 days. My problem, similar to mainly my second brown belt, is you've got the adrenaline going, and then I physically couldn't take anything in because my body's going, no, you're about to do something, it's really difficult, we don't need anything more in your body because you need to be able to run away. So it's being mindful that you are taking in food in the lead up to, and then obviously over those 2 days, because you are allowed to eat, just eat a little
Not
bit.
in the grading itself, but during the breaks
In the
between
break,
the
yeah.
Tiny Titans and the junior level 1, and then leading up to your grading. But don't eat a lot. Like when I was training for when I was fighting, I can remember now, every fight I would be terrified, right? And I'd make no bones about it. Like every fight, it was a full contact fight. I can remember my first fight, and I felt physically sick. I had a dry toast, and it was just, I couldn't even eat that. Right? I drank plenty of water, because that's really important, but I'd hardly ate. And then, you just trust in the technique and trust in your fitness, and you have to just, because your body's capable of doing it. But yeah, you be mindful, force yourself to eat something on the day. I couldn't, I never could on anything like that. In my black belt, I didn't eat. Right, I just had to, whatever I had on board, use as energy. So, but yeah, make sure if you can overcome those nerves. If you're not a sensitive soul like me, I'm sure you all can eat food. So,
That's another one. Why running specifically as a sort of a training?
That's a great question. Running puts miles in your motor. All right, it's really simple. It's that just that cardiovascular fitness. It sees you through everything. Okay, when I was fighting, my trainer Graham would say, you run in the morning. Okay, and one thing I was going to say, everyone will say, oh, I haven't got time to train for my black belt. And that's not true. It's really not true. Okay, if you want your black belt, right, there's 3 months of you getting up an hour earlier, and then training, and then and instead of Netflix and biscuits, you sacrifice Netflix and biscuits for those 3 months. Okay, not every night. I'm not asking you to do when I was training, when I was fighting at the elite level, I literally lived martial arts. That's all I did. All right, I would run in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would train 5 days a week. All right, and if I don't know how he did it, but if I missed a run, my trainer always knew. I had no idea, literally no idea. Graham just had to sit. You didn't run this morning. Okay, my house and his house, he was just. I'm pretty sure he would be there at the window. Where is he? But you have to just do it. All right, you just have to do it. Running, it puts the motor on, it puts the miles in you. So and don't worry about time. I never used to worry about time, but then people would time me. Okay, and I could run 5 miles in 25 minutes, pretty much every time I ran. Right, I would literally, my friend would drop me out at 5 miles away from my house, and boom, I would go, like a little me. And to the point where I had people who were doing the county athletics, and they would race me, and no one ever beat me. It was really funny. Okay, but so I could have been a runner, I reckon, but I was a martial artist instead. So get the running in, because it's just really, really important. It just is. All right, and it's that doing it as well. You're going to hate it. Okay, you are going to hate it, and you're going to have conversations with me. I can't do it, and when it gets to a point, we had conversations, that there was that one conversation where I said, okay, take a day off, take a couple of days off. Right? I don't want to see you in the gym, I don't want to see you doing anything, all right? But there were other conversations where it was like, I can't do it, okay. And she was like, okay, I'll go running. I remember, was it your first brown belt? And you turned around to me.
No, my third. I think it was my third.
Oh yeah, third brown
My
belt.
third brown
She turned around to me and she said, so do I have
Hang
to
on,
do...
hang on. Wait a minute. So this is the point of, I've done the first 2 sessions and I'm about to do like the proper full-on
last
session.
one.
Yeah. And then
So she said to me, do I have to do all the press-ups on my toes? And I just went... I never said anything. And she just went, okay.
I mean, I knew the answer. I was just hoping that I was wrong, and it proved that
And she
I was
wasn't.
right.
She wasn't. It was just... The expectation is do everything you can to the best of your ability, okay? And just grit your teeth. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
Is there such an age you have to be to take a black belt?
Is that what? Say that again. Is that it?
At a certain age.
Age on.
Now, this is a really good question, and there's a lot of thoughts in the martial arts community, right? I did my black belt with a couple of kids who were 13, 14, all right, and they've been training for years, and they were genuinely, one of them became a multi-world champion, and the other one became a European champion, and were just wonderful, like just wonderful martial artists. So I don't, like, if you're ready, if you're good enough and you've put the time in, then that's the age you've got to do it. All right. So that's, for me, I don't really, like, I don't hold with the kind of the conveyor belt of the Muck Dojo kind of model of martial art, where you just go and turn up and do your, and now you're a black belt, thank you, and that person that have made thousands of pounds and blah 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 off the gradings themselves, and you know, I think if you're good enough technically and you've shown me that you've trained hard and you've worked hard and you've put in the effort and the time, you're ready.
How old were you?
I was, so it's 29 years ago, so minus 52. So that age, I think. Maybe
23?
23? I think it was 20. Yes, I was 23. Sorry.
And can I say the other end of the scale? When I got my black belt, I was 46. So age doesn't matter where you are. Age is irrelevant. It's like Sensei said. It's about this and the commitment and just doing it. So age is nothing.
Commitment comes from this, like belief here. Like now, you get up off the seat. As soon as you rise, you know that one day you're going to be a black belt. Right? That's it. But that then holds in with everything else. So I'm going to be a black belt, but what else can I be? All right? It's like literally endless. As soon as you open that door of what if, I want more, oh, you just watch yourself go. Like, it's insane. Like, there's so many more things you can do. It's great.
Any more questions? And then, can I, before I ask that question, just the one thing I do want to say to you is, and we haven't touched upon this, breathing. Yes, we breathe every day. Breathing in your grading becomes even more important, because you will find that when you start to panic, or if it's all like gets too much for you, you'll start to breathe up here, and you'll be like, oh, and that potentially could get you panicking. So be aware of your breathing and make sure you're breathing from down here. You're allowing your diaphragm to drop so that your lungs can expand. And if you do find yourself thinking, oh no, this is too much, I can't do it, then just focus on your breathing and take deep breaths in through your nose to get all of that oxygen in, because the best way of getting air into you is through your nose, and then breathing it out through your mouth. So, you know, if you are frightened, cat in headlights, breathing.
That's a really good point, because the only two things you can control are your breathing and the next exercise, or the next thing. All right, so that's it. Okay, you have no control at all apart from breathing and the next exercise, and obviously quitting them. So
Yeah, just curious about how you develop flexibility. It's like working on techniques enough, or
stretch. Building. We've got like Steph. She's really knowledgeable with the stretching and things. So you can ask her. We'll look at maybe getting some programs in place on our YouTube channel as well. Do some stretches there for people. Okay, but like just stretch. And if you want to ask, I've got some experience with stretching, so I can give you some pointers as well. All right.
And that was part of my training program. Was I would do stretching every day, which I didn't do before that.
We tried to do the slow kicks on Thursday, the tension and power. I couldn't get above waist height, basically, slowly.
So
Did you have to go?
So Steph will say to you, that is as much as your core strength, that it is your flexibility. So you can, I am really flexible. The thing I had to work on though was my core strength, because that's what allows you to lift your leg.
Yeah. It's the flexibility, it's the strength, it's everything. So and that's part of the loveliness of the black belt. It shows you as the complete martial artist, which is great. All right. Anyone else got any more questions? Splendid. Thank you very much for coming today and listening to us. We really appreciate your time. Thank you guys. Take care. And if you can give us a hand taking the chairs away, that'd be brilliant.